I know it's in there. I'm not going to be selling myself short.
What happened, Quinn?
I would be lying if I didn't say it's a bit annoying because
Yeah.
I was one of the best there ever was, really. I had my own crash. I hit my head really hard. Basically, everything was more or less dead. We need to start to stand up and not put up with this crap anymore.
You have a little bit of that crazy freak in you.
It was inspired by Hulk Hogan. There's no point to be here if I don't think I can win the biggest races.
Technical terms of some, but not some of the other types. We got the goatee, some other sorts of beards, but what would you call this facial hair you're working?
I mean, it was inspired by Hulk Hogan. But, I don't know. I did it as a joke, and then my girlfriend saw it, and I thought she was going to be mad at me and make me take it off, but she said it was okay, so we keep it at least for a few races.
It may work in WWF, but I don't know about the Pro Peloton.
I mean, done some nice results already, so I was afraid I'd lose my power if I shaved my beard, but I was okay.
How you doing here at this end of the season? I mean, we saw you really ride well at the World Championships, and now you're kind of wrapping up the end of 2024.
Yeah, for sure. It was a big block with Canada and Luxembourg and then to the World. So for sure, after it was 2 weeks where you had to keep training and you were quite fatigued. But yeah, you don't lose shape so fast. And we try and finish really strong here. The team has had quite a good season, so we just have the aim we finish it well, and you can go in the off season with a good mood.
What happened, Quinn?
What do you mean?
What happened with the big break this year? What happened last year? How did it all come together in a bad way for you?
At first, I had to see what happened in Swiss, and that puts me a bit on the back foot. And then I have my own crash. I hit my head really hard, and then I stayed in the race. And just between the emotional stress and the physical stress, I basically tried to come back too soon and more or less killed my body. And then when we returned to racing in the spring, I was able to do really good power numbers, but when we do the medical checks, basically everything was more or less dead. My head, my body, the hormones, everything was. I just needed to really take a break, and I think I was still feeling the effects of the concussion. Some days in training you don't feel it, but then you'd get in the peloton and I'd be really dizzy and everything and have all these problems. So we decided it was best I just stop and take a break and only really come back once I could train normally. And I mean, in the end, it took 2 months off the bike before I even felt like a normal human again. But it's racing okay now, so I think we made the right choice.
I bet you learned a lot of lessons in that time period.
Yeah, probably don't get back on your bike if you're dizzy when you hit your head. I think, in cycling, we're pushed always to keep going when we crash, which, I mean, really, it's quite stupid. And I think as riders, we need to start to stand up and not put up with this crap anymore. But, at the end of the day, it was my decision to get back on the bike. It's one I regret making, and it probably cost me a full season. But, it is what it is. And, yeah, for sure now, I'll take this a lot more seriously. And I think, all of us need to. It's not cool when you see guys getting back on all covered in Band-Aids. We're pushed to do this by the teams, and I'm sorry, but it's not right, and it's not cool, and it's something I won't ever do again. First, it starts with the team. They took super good care of me, from the medical staff and through the performance staff. They just really gave me the time to stop, and and then I had a good build back. I did a month of more or less easy training at home, and then I was able to do an altitude camp in Park City. That went quite well, and then just slowly a bigger and bigger race schedule, just slowly getting back into it. And I mean, 9th in the Worlds, it wasn't such a surprise. I think it was more a surprise for me because I expected the course to be different, but on a course that suits me, this is about where I ride, so it's nice to see that finally I was back there, because it's been since, I mean, almost 2 years now since I've been at the front of a super big race like this. So, I mean, to be honest, I'm just trying to get through this year, and then, of course, I learned last year how much rest is important, so I go at least 1 month without even touching the bike now, and then we start to slowly build back up. I'll target Strada again early, and then probably some of the classics into the Ardennes would be my idea. But first I take really a good break, and I actually respect the stress we put on our bodies. I think even we don't really realize how hard it is. I mean, we're on the other side of the world, all jet lagged, eating different food and racing for 5 hours a day. It's not something we can do so lightly, even though we do handle it. I ski, I play hockey, and I ride my mountain bike if it's not too snowy. So I don't fully fully ever do nothing, but yeah, it'll be at least 1 month, 6 weeks where I'm not on the road bike.
What is it with the attention everyone puts on young cyclists these days? You look at you and we forget you're just still such a young guy. Everybody expects big things right away. Do you have to deal with that pressure too, of looking around and seeing your other guys at a similar age, like already doing big things, and the pressure to perform at an early age?
I mean, I would be lying if I didn't say it's a bit annoying because, you know, as a junior I was one of the best, I mean, there ever was, really. I mean, there's guys like Remco and me, and I was right up with them as a junior, and then I'm the one who hasn't made the step as a pro, but I've also, you know, I haven't had a super clean run at things. My neo-pro year was ruined by Corona. I've had a lot of crashes, a lot of problems. So I still do believe that when I put together a full season, you know, I can be up there for sure. I'm not going to be doing what these other crazy freaks do, but you know, I do believe I can win at least one of these big races. And you know, as soon as I don't believe that, I'm going to stop cycling, because for me, there's no point to be here if I don't think I can win the biggest races. So, you know, as long as I believe that, you know, I have someday a Strada in my legs, that's what I keep pushing for. And when I don't have this anymore, you see me back in America.
It seemed that you had, or you have, a little bit of that crazy freak in you, though, because we saw that in the junior worlds, and we saw that right away before some setbacks.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I say, I know it's in there. You know, I'm not going to sell myself short. I mean, I see what I do in training. I know there's many guys who can't do this, but I also know there's many guys who can do more. So, but on my day, I mean, at Worlds, tactically I messed up, but I'm almost 100% certain if I ride the race better, I can be fighting for a medal. It was my mistake, not my fitness. My legs were there to be on the podium. For sure you don't win, but I had the legs to be on the podium, and I made the mistakes to not be there. So at least you know you were there.
That's got to feel good.
Yeah, it was super reassuring. I mean, for me, I looked back now and I see that like how on the limit I put myself just to try and follow Pogačar, and then was 2 laps dropped, and then to still fight back and be, you know, 9th. It's a small result, but you know, to do it in almost the most inefficient way possible. The other guys who tried to follow him, you see they don't even finish.
Yeah.
So at least I have that small prize that I know my legs are there. It's just unfortunate that we have 2-3 guys that are so far above us that even on a special day you probably don't win, but you know, a medal at the Worlds would have been a super nice result.
And that's motivation going into 2025.
Yeah, of course. And then, you know, I think for me, I'll always chase after a race like Strada because I really like it. I think something like Amstel, maybe even go Flanders and try and be support for Mads as long as I can be. And then as an American, your biggest focus of the whole year is to make it back to the Tour. To sit on the couch last year and watch the Tour on the TV, it was not fun.